So this is almost the same, and as you can see, I'm wearing like a long gown, and it is hung high up.
It's really long.
Yes, and it's very high up, so that everyone has to look up to me.
Oh,
and
I like that.
So even if you're 6 foot tall, you still have to look up to me, and that is elevating the woman.
It's intentional.
Yes, it's intentional. And see how the window frames it like a frame. And so it extends outside, feeling like it continues on. So the outside becomes part of the work.
Oh, wow.
And this one is, the label is right here. It is, do you see what I see? And so in this one, I am looking up to the light, and that makes the viewer think, what am I seeing, or what am I thinking? And as you can see here, I have this installation that covers this up. So it's also like a surprise, though. You walk back here and then you see, oh, a portrait.
Wow.
And then you start wondering, what is this really about? But what's interesting is that every single fabric I used in this installation was donated to me by other feminists all across Florida. So I've become known as like the textile girl. So everyone, the Orlando magazine called me the textile portrait, the textile poet. Because
you said the Orlando magazine?
Yes, actually the Florida Design magazine, not even Orlando, it's the Florida Design magazine. And when I saw that, I was really honored. So people bring donations of fabrics to me.
So all this is all, sewed up together to create these beautiful.
Yes, so it's like a tapestry that represents the unity of women, because I have felt a lot of support from other women. And interesting enough, this is a lesso. Any Kenyan would recognize this. But can you believe that this was gifted to me by one of my students?
What?
Yes, and she was gifted this 8 years ago from her best friend from Tanzania, and she kept it as a very treasured gift, but she gifted it to me because she saw what my work is about.
It's already immortalized right there. It's going to have a longer lifespan than she thought.
Yeah, so all these are just women who really, really support me, and I am so grateful to have everyone surrounding me. And I like to use these ropes. They're used for crowd control, like VIP section where you can go through. And so I use them as a symbol of control. And so I like to sort of just tie them up and tangle them apart to show the complexity of this situation. It's a very dense, heavy situation that sometimes makes me really upset when I think about all the issues that women go through. And that is just starting from little things, or not even little, but gender chores, for example. And then you go to more complex things like female genital mutilation or child marriages. And those are things that make me really angry. And as you can see, this one is beginning to rust. So I intentionally put a chemical that will rust it to show the rotting and just how disturbing
everything is intentional here. It's not just, oh my goodness.
Yes, and as a viewer, if you come looking at this, you see your reflection, and so that makes you wonder, are you part of the problem?
I swear I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, so, and we can see this one here. So normally we expect that the rope is the red one, like a big red rope. But in this iteration, I made the stem red. And so that is a disruption. It creates a disruption. So when someone sees this, they're like, no, that's not how it usually is, right? So you start thinking about these things. And of course, the use of African fabric, just to show cultural control.
To show cultural control.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing how these pieces of art and the way you are describing it, what is very clear to me is that there's a lot of meaning in every bit and piece of art you do. I mean, there's a lot you can literally learn. And, it's not just a lesson. It's not just a
Yes.
wrapping. I mean, I didn't even think of that reflection having that meaning.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you have any other piece again?
Yes, I do have some here. And these two are part of my reconstruction series. And I'm very excited to talk about these because I did the first one that is in Tampa, and then I cut it up. And after I cut this one up, I was thinking about reconstruction. So I see the process of me drawing my portrait as the act of construction. And then I deconstruct it by cutting it into pieces. And then I have to carefully arrange them, which drives me crazy because it's like putting back a puzzle. And if I'm gluing them, they're facing the other way around. So it's very confusing for me. So that act of putting them back together is what I call reconstruction, as you can see. And I'm carefully placing these pieces onto cultural African fabric to show that I'm finding my place within a patriarchal culture. And so as you can see, there are cracks, and so you can see through the fabric. So it becomes like a disruption. My face is not complete because there are all these cracks showing through. And so that is me questioning, how has the culture I was brought up in affected my identity? How did it shape my thoughts and how I see the world?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
And this one too is the same. You can see it starts from the eye because the eye is a symbol of identity, and then it extends.
Oh, wow.
But then there are subtle things that you only notice if you look at it for long. Like this is a silhouette of a body, and you can see from
I
the...
see it, yeah.
If you
That's
look
the
at
body
this
of a...
side, you can see...
Yeah, I see it's very clear. I mean, this is...
Yeah, and the shadow of it
Oh, and the
is
shadow
pretty
brings
clear.
it very clear. This is real art. Wow, this is real well thought.
Thank you. So it brings back the idea of vulnerability and me having to choose what I do with my body as a woman.
Oh, wow. This takes time to do this. This is real art. So question is, I mean, this is deliberate that you choose your own images in creating all these pieces of art. It's very intentional, right?
Yes, I think the only one I've done is actually my brother.
Yeah.
Since I pursued grad school, I have only been doing self-portraits, and I think it's because I'm telling my story through my own experience, my own lived experience. And there was a time I thought maybe this is limiting me, but I found that people really identify with what I'm saying. And even women who have grown up here in the US could feel the stifling that I'm trying to reveal in my work, the oppression or the suppression of identity just because you're a woman. So it is because I'm telling my story. That's why it's very much me.
You are not telling only your story, you're telling the story of all women.
Yes, and then all women just relate to my work when they see it, even though it stems from my story. But I love how, and that's why they donate fabrics to me. They want to be part of it. Yeah. Amazing,
really amazing. Again, so people, if they want to reach you, how do they do it? You said they go to your website?
Yes, njerikinuthia.com. Yes.
That has been Njeri Kinuthia. This is, again, what was the name of the gallery?
This is Castleberry Art Center in Castleberry City in Florida.
Just about 30 minutes from, about 30 minutes from Orlando?
Yes.
Wow, I can't stop looking at some of these pieces.